What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Real Junkies. I'm your host, Farron, here again with my man Vito, and we're bringing back a segment. Haven't done it in a little minute, I ain't gonna lie. We ain't did a What You Watching, I feel like, in a little.
I'm sure we did one last month.
I'm sure we did. It
No, we
feels
did.
like it's
You
been a
you right.
while.
You 100% right.
We haven't. Okay, I couldn't really
Yeah.
remember the last time we've done a What You Watching, honestly. And it was fitting for us to do one for the horror movie that's been kind of taking everybody by storm, Weapons, partly because my man Vito was anti-horror movies. So someone had to see this shit.
It was more like I've been seeing a lot of stuff. I don't know what you've been seeing
Yeah.
because our algorithms are different.
Mhm.
But I've been seeing a lot of, I guess, not reviews, but like people like doing like what's spoofs of it, the movie and shit.
Yeah, like memes of everything, or
Yeah, like I seen a guy did a clip about the little boy going to the grocery store. And so
if you
like,
had the context of that scene, no, like it's really fucked up.
I'm thinking, was this more because we already talked about like it's different elements of horror movies.
Mhm.
Was this more suspense thriller? Like
Yes,
I thought it was like
but
sci-fi horror before.
I wouldn't describe it as sci-fi. No, it does not have any sci-fi elements. It's more like it's like a mix of. I would say the first half of this movie is definitely more like a mystery suspense thriller that graduates into a horror movie by the third act. But it has elements of both. And it's told in a very interesting way. It's directed by Zach Krager, who also directed Barbarian. For those of you who've seen Barbarian, you know that movie is fire too. And you looking like you don't know what that is. Basically, it's
I'm looking it up. Don't even worry
yeah.
about it.
But essentially, the plot of Weapons is the plot that hooks people in is actually pretty intriguing. 17 kids, all from the same class. Julia Gardner is the teacher. Her character, her name is Justine. So 17 kids from Justine's class, all at 2:17 in the morning, get up out of their sleep, walk out the front door of their house, and run into the night doing the Naruto run, and they're not seen from ever again after that. That's the premise of how this movie starts, and a big part of this movie is the mystery of why did all of these children just suddenly get up and walk out into the night doing the Naruto run in the middle of the night and didn't come back. And the movie takes a lot of turns to get us to the answer, and the way the story is told is actually pretty interesting. I don't know if you're familiar with Crash, the film that came out in like the early
With
2000s.
Ludacris,
Yeah,
Terrence Howard, Sandra Bullock.
Sandra Bullock, yeah, Brendan Fraser. It's kind of told in a similar vein to that. It's like a mix of that and
Okay,
Pulp Fiction
from
about
different
how yeah.
viewpoints.
Yeah, the film is told from different viewpoints of people in this town. It's a small town movie, you know what I'm saying? It's really small town, just really being ravaged by just the sudden disappearance of 17 kids. And the movie is told from different perspectives. You start off with Justine, the teacher. The trailer really kind of just focuses on her mostly and kind of like puts her as a central character. And in a sense, she is, but this movie is told from different perspectives. You get Josh Brolin's character's perspective. You get a police officer's character's perspective. Like this movie is told from different angles and different viewpoints, and it even redoes certain scenes that you've already seen earlier in the movie just from the vantage point of a different character, and it gives you a completely different context to that scene, and you kind of piece the mystery of what's going on throughout the movie based on the different vantage points of each character, which I thought was a pretty interesting way to tell a horror movie. I can't think of a horror movie that I've seen that was told in that format of different characters having their own perspectives told and it focusing on different people. And I thought it was executed pretty flawlessly, especially in a mystery format, right? Like I said, a big part of this film is we're trying to figure out what happened to these kids. Where did these kids go? And instead of just kind of stringing you along through like a traditional linear story, this movie goes, okay, well, here's that version of the story from Julia Garner character's perspective, and we're going to bring you up to this point in the story, and then boom, we're going to switch to this character. And then this character may interact with Julia Garner's character, but you're going to see those scenes from different perspectives, and then their story is going to give you a little more context into what's going on. And then boom, next character is going to give you a little more context, and each time you learn a little bit more of why these kids disappeared or what's going on in this town. And this film does a great job of building tension and building suspense and kind of, diving into that mystery piece of leaving you on edge. which I think is that's really when this movie's at its strongest, is when it's leaving you in suspense and you kind of are starting to figure out what's going on, but you don't really know. But it builds that tension very, very well. One thing about this movie I do want to shout out is Josh Brolin. His performance in this I thought was amazing.
Josh Brolin,
It's Josh Brolin. He plays the parents of one of the kids who disappeared. And he goes on like full blown dad. I'm like nothing in life, not my job, not my wife, nothing in life is going to stop me from piecing together this mystery of what happened to my child. And it's like just pure determination from that character. And you see it affect, like I said, other parts of his life. Like, you know, I'm not going to go into any real spoilers because you can't, like, this, a big part of this movie is the mystery and the suspense. So I want to try to talk about it as much without giving away key plot points. But there is a part in this movie where, you know, Josh Brolin's character, he's a contractor, and they're working on a home, him and his crew. And there's like a certain item he was supposed to order. He messed the order up, and he like everything's just out of whack because he's just not focused on that right now. He's dead set on finding dead set on finding his child. And they show how it's, I don't want to call it an unhealthy obsession because you're trying to find your child, right? But you see it, that's like the sole thing that takes over his life, and all other responsibilities fall to the wayside for him. And I thought Josh Brolin, you know, conveyed that pretty well.
What time period does this take place?
It's present day.
Okay.
Yeah, it's present day.
All the trailers made it look like this was in like the late 70s, early 80s. I'm like, what the fuck are they wearing? I mean, maybe I just wasn't really paying attention to the trailers, but it all looked pretty old.
Like retro. I wouldn't know. I didn't get that vibe. This movie definitely felt like it takes place in present day. And it also has like a lot of present day like symbolism. And it's very subtle, you know what I'm saying? We see movies, you know, make, you know, like do social commentary and talk about real life things and all of that. And this movie does that in a very subtle way. And honestly, I haven't really seen a whole lot of horror movies, A, like I said, told in this format, or B, really dive into social commentary, and that's that heavily, at least. Because they do it subtly, but it's not that subtle to where you don't see that that's kind of what they're going for, right? I think we, you know the series of just graphic gun violence, especially in schools, that goes on, especially in America, that we see. And I definitely feel like, especially against children, and you see that's kind of a theme throughout this movie. There is no gun violence in this movie against children or anything like that.
I was about to ask, like, damn, they got a school shooting in this bitch?
There's not a school shooting in here, but this movie is definitely playing on how, say, a town is impacted by, say, a school shooting. Like if a school shooting happened in a small town, and how that town would react to something like that. This movie is definitely commentating on that. And there's one scene that kind of drives that point home. There's a dream sequence involving Josh Brolin's character, and there's something that's shown over a house. Like I said, I don't want to go too much into detail about what it is. I don't want to spoil anything. During that dream sequence is where I started piecing together of like, okay, that's the symbolism they're going for here, which is why I use the school shooting reference, because like they make it pretty apparent within that dream sequence that that's kind of the symbolism they're going for a little bit.
I got 2 questions.
Go ahead.
Was there funny moments in this movie?
Yes.
Okay, because they got dark comedy in here. I was worried.
Yes. Yeah.
Is there a witch in this movie?
There is a supernatural force involved in this movie. Yes.
I'm just looking, like I said, I'm on IMDb. I'm looking at everything, looking at actors' names and whatnot, and I'm looking at the genres that, you know, IMDb puts up, and that's like 3 of them, 2 of them that I'm like, dark comedy, witch. Okay.
Yeah, there is a supernatural force in this movie. Yes, I will say that. I don't want to go into too much detail. There is a supernatural force. These kids didn't just all get up and leave their house because it was a prank they were trying to play on their parents. No, something forced them out of their house.
So niggas was like, man, fuck this time.
They said, fuck it, we ain't going to school tomorrow, y'all. We about
to go blaze up.
And at 2 a.m. we about to all just
now what grade is this supposed to be? I know it's supposed to be like they're young. Like
young.
They not in high school.
No, I don't even think they're They're like maybe
If they in
I
the
want
middle
to say
school, they
third
got to be.
grade,
Oh shit.
third or
Okay.
fourth grade, if I'm not mistaken. They are very young.
So that makes like what the videos that I'm seeing even funnier. That this fucking third graders coming to the store and buying 18 cans of soup
Yeah, and
every
it's
day.
yes. When you understand the concept, like the context of why he's doing it, though, it makes that scene low key kind of fucked up.
All right, so
But
just tell me if I'm correct. Is he
okay,
doing this to fatten the kids up?
no, it has
Okay.
nothing to. Well, I was about to say it don't have nothing to do with the kids, but it kind of does.
I say you
Yeah,
got it. 18
it,
cans,
that's
17
not.
kids.
Yeah, it does. I really can't say without spoiling shit. Like, I can't, it's really, that's why it's kind of a hard movie to review because the trailers really don't give you that much information. So
No,
I'm trying
at
to
all.
stay within what the trailers presented. So I'll just say, yes, it has something, him buying all those cans of soup does have something to do with the kids, but the driving force of why that scene is so tragic doesn't really have to do with the kids, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? That child was motivated to do what he's doing for the survival of him and people he cares about. And I'll just leave it at that.
See, I want to know now. You know
Yeah.
what? Maybe not this one, but we might have to start giving spoilers to niggas on some of these, man.
Yeah.
Like some
this
of these,
one is
like
just,
it's called a review, man, not a
yeah.
hey, this is what we think about the movie. I mean, I
Yeah.
guess it is because it's what you're watching, but
Yeah. And in this case, it's like, and just because of how secretive this movie's been with their marketing, because like having seen it, it's like, wow, there's a lot of plot points you just don't get in the trailer. So like, I want to be very careful about saying too much. But yeah, there's a lot in this movie that shows, I think, a lot of the, tragic ways in which towns can be affected by incidents like this. And I think they drive that point home from every perspective, from whether it be the educators, whether it be the parents, whether it be other kids, like the classmates. Like there is one child that you said, the kid that was in there buying all the soup. There's one kid in Justine's class that didn't disappear. And he has by far the most tragic story out of anybody in this movie. This little boy goes through it like to the max. I don't know how I would have responded or what I would do if I was in this kid's specific situation, but he's forced to go through things that I don't know how many third graders would have navigated it. The fact that he navigated it the way he did, kid is low key a G. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, the fact that this nigga going to the store every day buying 18 cans of soup. One, you know your way to the store in the third grade, and you go. I don't know how big this town is, but whatever. But also, you're carrying 18 cans of soup. Now,
Dolo.
one can of soup, 2 cans of soup, 3 cans of soup. Once you get to 4, man, it started weighing a little bit.
Nah, bro, he had 2 full bags. I'm pretty sure were double bagged.
See?
He carrying them Johns like this. Like, yeah, bro. That little boy was going through it. It was, and one thing I do love about this movie is they really do a great job of character development, which I think is something the best horror movies do that. The best horror movies to me are ones that develop their characters enough to where you start to develop some sort of attachment to them. Cause then when shit starts popping off, it's not just like oh shit, I feel like that's kind of my complaint with a lot of slasher movies sometimes is
you don't care about the characters to die.
Yeah, you don't care about the characters. So by the time Jason or Freddy comes up, it's like, I don't really care. I'm damn near on Jason's side because I have no connection to these characters.
I mean, you was probably on Killmonger's side too, so it makes sense. You got some issues.
Yes and no. Yes and no. I wasn't with him choking out grandma.
You was one of them niggas that was like, Thanos is right, writing on the walls in the movie and shit.
Like, I mean, some people do need to be disappeared. I was just, some people probably need to be snapped.
So you being on Jason and Freddy's side makes sense. It's not totally it's not really off the wall.
But I'm just saying that in the sense of like, between the if I'm watching a Friday the 13th movie, I have more emotional investment in Jason's story because I know his backstory. I don't know these people he's about to go off. I don't know nothing about them. Like, I know Jason's story is tragic. His mama was crazy. He got, tossed into a river and drowned as a kid. Like, that man has a tragic backstory.
I was going to use that for a minute to shit on Killmonger's backstory in the movie.
Okay, well, we're going to move on with the rest of Weapons, y'all.
Because the nigga
wants to hate on Michael B. Jordan.
Died, nigga. How many other niggas' daddies died in the hood, bro?
okay, well, not many other people have ties to the wealthiest nation on earth while I'm living in the hood.
Man, like. this nigga was about to make the world suffer because his uncle killed his daddy. And his daddy deserved it.
I ain't gonna go that far.
Did not?
Did he deserve it? No.
By the rules,
but he was in the wrong though. He was in the wrong.
Rules of Wakanda, my nigga.
He was in the wrong
because his daddy was doing what he was doing. Well,
he was definitely in the wrong. I ain't gonna say he deserved to die though.
I mean, by their rules, he did.
Technically, he was gonna bring him in for questioning. He didn't die until he started to try to upstrap on a super soldier.
Oh, so he deserved to die.
So I mean, sure.
Nigga pull a gun out on you. What you supposed to do, lady?
No, you supposed to stop him.
So the nigga deserved to die.
You are supposed to stop him.
Okay, maybe he didn't deserve to die. He had to die.
He needed to. It's self-defense. So I ain't gonna kick.
That's what I'm saying. He had to die, but also he probably could have took his brother down without killing him.
Yeah, like you have superpowers and the other person doesn't. So like you could have. You don't really have to kill, bro.
That's all I'm saying though. Like the nigga had, he had some good points.
Yeah,
but
yeah, I will say though, in somewhat of a Marvel pivot, Julia Garner is having a hell of a year right now.
I was just thinking, not even a year, bro. The month itself.
She is.
Fantastic Four came out
in July.
Oh, I'm sorry. That was
July. But damn near, like, because this came out early August. This came out last week. So between Wolfman, which, no, it was like a week in between. It was like because this came out, I think, August 8th or 9th. Whichever one was the Friday.
So we did Fantastic Four, and then what?
Like that next week.
Yeah.
We did something.
The action hero draft.
The action hero draft. Yes, thank you for reminding. I was like, I don't know why my mind just went blank. But I think for this is a movie that shows a lot of her range as an actor. This is, to me, like, if anyone's seen Ozark, I don't know how many people have seen that show. It's a phenomenal show.
She's in it, right?
If
she
you haven't
looks really young in here.
In this, she actually seems a lot more mature and grown in this. Like I think in Ozark her character is supposed to be a lot younger.
I think maybe that's why I don't, because I've never seen Ozark, so I didn't see her as a playing a child. But seeing her in Fantastic Four and seeing her in this, like I'm looking at the trailers, I'm like, okay, so this is a school of like the classes going missing must be high schoolers.
No, they're very young.
She's a teacher, so that meant
no, they're very young. Like I said, I think 3rd or 4th grade. But like I said, I gave Josh Brolin a highlight for his performance in this. Hers was right up there with him, and her character is very flawed. Like, even though you're rooting for her character, you kind of feel bad for her at certain points because
she got OnlyFans.
All right, bro. This. What y'all see what I got to deal with? I'm over here trying to give this woman compliments on her thespian acting ability.
Maybe
this man is just.
I meant her character, not her as as a person. I mean, like, does her? It'd be a lot of teachers getting fired and shit for that stripping.
Her character does not.
OnlyFans.
Her character does not have an OnlyFans. No, her character does not have. Well, I don't know if her character has OnlyFans.
What? See.
I will just say her character does like taking men who belong to other women. I'll just say that.
Oh, I thought you were about to say she liked to get bussed down in the parking lot after school.
Not in the parking lot, but definitely after school.
Okay, well, I would hope so.
not in the parking lot, but
I would hope that she waits.
Definitely. All right,
right. School is over. Shit.
No, she ain't on that, but she does have just a lot of character flaws. I'll say that are very present that the film highlights. Like she definitely can be very self-centered. Definitely, like I said, likes to take men that belong to other women. You see that happen in this movie. Definitely likes to overstep her boundaries with the kids sometimes, not like in an inappropriate kind of way, but in like that teacher that cares a little too much. Like you trying to get too involved. Like you see a kid's going through something at home and you try to get like too involved. It's like, I get your concern, but that's not your kid. Like you're kind of overstepping your boundaries a little bit.
Like, what do you mean? Like she was like asking a lot of questions that maybe.
Yeah, like to give an example, like the kid who doesn't disappear from her class. There's a scene where he's walking home with his million soup cans, and she just hops out her car like, "Hey, so what's going on?" I'm like, "Whoa, you like outside of this man's house, just questioning this child."
Nigga, she trying to figure out what happened to these kids in her class. And,
I feel that, but
and this little nigga that didn't go missing, maybe he got something to do with it.
Fair, but like at that point, you don't know that. Like you don't know anything about this kid or what he got going on. You're just popping up on him just randomly in the middle of the day. Keep in mind, at this point in the movie, the police have already done their investigation.
I heard that was a big thing in the movie too.
Like the police in this movie are useless, but I'll get to that point later. The police have already done their investigation and interviewed this kid and searched his house. So as far as the teacher knows, this kid has already been investigated.
Also,
going over
the police?
No, because like I said,
that's what I mean. So yeah, she's doing her own investigation.
But she has a history of that. It's set up in the movie from the principal that she has a history of doing things like that. So
I was trying to cut her a break. You
try to shoot her some bail. I'm like, you can't on this one. Like, there's literally a scene. There's a scene where, and it's because she has a history of doing this, we're in a situation where she might be a little justified in doing it. It's hard for other people to believe her because she has a history of being on trash. Like, there's a scene where she calls the principal, like, "Hey, I talked to Alex. I feel like there's some things going on at home that aren't." Alex is the name of the kid that didn't go missing. I talked to him. I feel like there's some things going on. I'm a little concerned about what he has going on at home. The principal's like, "Look, you got let go of your last school for overstepping boundaries and doing too much when it just wasn't your place. This man is not your kid." That's all right now.
I was waiting.
This man is not your kid. The police already interrogated him. The police have searched his house. This kid is traumatized. Leave him alone. So, like, a situation where the principal probably should follow up because you have a teacher calling you saying they're concerned about a child's safety. It's hard for me to believe you because you got a history of overstepping boundaries with other students in the past.
So this is why I'm at, because the overstepping boundaries it's like, especially with teachers, it's really tough to be like, you overstep just because of things going on. So do we know exactly why she got fired?
They don't go into details.
They just say like she overstepped.
They repeat that throughout the movie. Like, she has a history of the parents mention it. The principal mentions it, that like she has a history of overstepping boundaries when it comes to how she deals with students. And they make it clear that's like not in an inappropriate way. It's just she cares very deeply, and she cares sometimes maybe a little too much, to the point that like she tries to treat these children like they're her own. It's like, these aren't your kids. That's not your role. You know what I'm saying?
Now my question is this the only, I know it's a small town, but I'm guessing, so this is the only elementary school in this town? So she had to come from somewhere else.
Yeah, well, this is the elementary school they focus on. I don't know if it's the only one in the town. They don't really reference other schools like that.
Because what I'm thinking is, if this is if you said this is a small town, so the way some of these small towns, I mean, you'll see it even in a city like ours. You go to some of these schools and you see how parents react to certain things that teachers do, where, hey, this teacher's 100% right and justified in what they're saying and doing, but you don't like it because you feel like they're telling your business or they're in your business. So I'm wondering,
or telling you how to parent.
Yeah. So I'm wondering, like, is that what it really is? Is she from this town?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm wondering if that's what it is.
Yeah, she has a home there. So I'll say this:
small town business, and we don't want you in our shit. We'll raise our kids the way we raise them. You worry about teaching them, and that's all you worry about. I don't know if maybe that's the thing. I don't know though.
Yeah, that is a little bit part of it, but the main issue that the parents in the town have with her now is the fact that out of all the classrooms in this elementary school, the only one that had any kids go missing is yours. So what the fuck was you doing in that class, given the fact that she has this history of kind of overstepping boundaries?
Did you take them?
What the fuck were you doing? Hey, like, that's kind of where the parents are at this point of like, why only in your classroom did all these kids go missing? What the fuck were you doing in that class to where all these kids at 2 a.m. decided to jump up and, like I said, do the Naruto run out their house? And I'm not trolling. It damn near really is a Naruto
run. I heard that. So this is my last. I think this is my last question until you tell more.
Okay.
Was it underground lizard people?
Underground wizard people.
Lizard
Lizard people? No.
Okay.
It ain't that supernatural. It's supernatural, but it ain't that. It's like I can't even really say shit without spoiling it. Like but just know the reason behind it is creepy. Just know the reason behind why these kids went missing is very, very creepy.
We know what state this take place in?
If I don't think they mentioned that. I don't remember them mentioning like the specific location of where it took place. They just do like the film opens with the narration, the same child that was narrating the trailer. The film opens with that narration of this is a true story that happened in my town. A lot of people die in a lot of really weird ways, but you won't find it in the news because the police were so embarrassed that they couldn't solve it. It's basically like
Naybrook, Pennsylvania.
Okay, Naybrook. Yes, you're right. They did mention that. You're right. They did. They did. So yeah, because I was like, I feel like they mentioned the town, but I couldn't remember exactly. But yes, they do mention Naybrook. And this one thing about this movie that is also key is like the thing that's impacting the kids doesn't just affect the kids; it affects other people in the town. But you just see that kind of sprinkled in throughout the story, happening as the story progresses. Because the kids going missing is like the catalyst that kind of kicks everything off. And then as other people kind of start to get hip to what's going on, you see things start to happen to those people as well, because the entity that's causing all of this doesn't want to be discovered. So anyone who finds out about it instantly becomes a target.
So you don't want to be discovered, but you make 17 kids out of one class disappear.
There's a reason for that.
That sounds like you want to be discovered.
When you see the movie, it'll make sense why. Like it makes it, because you're right? Like for you to do something like that, that's going to draw a lot of attention, right? The force that caused it, the supernatural entity that caused it, is very desperate. It's a very, very desperate, and that is something that it needed in that moment. I'll just say that it's something it needed in that moment.
But even still, how many other classes is there? How many other people could you have taken? And one class, my nigga?
Yeah, one class is kind of hot. That's very federal.
That's like the nigga that, the nigga in the hood that's just, nigga, what? Every time a nigga sees some nigga, what? What's good, nigga?
It's like, all right, well, we know what you got going on.
You want to go to jail, my dog?
Yeah, like it's hard to, because you're right. Like, just if you're just viewing it without all the answers, it is kind of like, well, damn, that really wasn't a smart way to go about it. But when you understand how this thing goes about doing what it does, you understand why all the people being in one class kind of worked for its plan. Even though it may not have been practically the smartest thing to do if you're trying to not be discovered, it was the most practical and easiest plan for them to execute. I'll just say that. And I do think that this movie, I really want to talk about the villain in this movie, but I can't, for real. I'll just say, I'll talk about them a little bit.
See, that's why you might need spoilers for this shit.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about them a little bit without going into too much detail. They are very, very creepy. They have this like very welcoming spirit about them that kind of allows people to put their guard down a little bit. Because like I said, the police, they do a lot of interrogation in this movie, and they actually the police actually do end up talking to the person responsible or the entity responsible for what's going on without really knowing that's who it is. And because they're just so innocent and kind of happy-go-lucky in their personality and their approach, it kind of disarms people with not really knowing how much danger they're in when they're around this thing, which I thought was it was a very interesting way of introducing that character, of like portraying them in a way that doesn't show them as menacing or threatening. Like they don't really come across that way when you're watching the movie, and they're played by Amy Madigan. So shout out to her. But I do think that this movie does a good job of kind of showing that balance with this character of, you see how menacing they are and how disturbing they are and just straight up evil. Like this character enjoys inflicting pain on people, and they make that very apparent kind of early on when this character is introduced, that they're very content and very happy with making other people suffer.
I see. I'm just in case you couldn't tell, I'm reading right now.
This
I
character
had to know what's going on.
Yeah, this character is very content with making people suffer, and they take joy and pride in it almost. But they kind of mask it behind this very charming, happy, innocent personality that they portray to everybody else. But we already brought it up, so I have to get into it. And this is a problem that most horror movies have, of how useless the police are. And this is actually a problem. This is the problem Barbarian had, actually. Like the other Zach Cregger movie that kind of put him on the map. There's a scene in Barbarian where, the girl escapes the house. For those of you who know what Barbarian's about, a girl books a B&B. She goes in. Somebody's already living there. And they both find out that they got booked at the same time or whatever. And while they're staying there, they start realizing there's some weird shit going on at this B&B. They make the mistake of checking the basement, and then they find out why this B&B is so weird. So the girl escapes from the house because she was getting held captive in there. She finds the police and basically tells them, like, hey, y'all, I've been kidnapped. There's some weird shit going on in this house. There's this thing in there that's terrorizing and killing people. And the police just kind of shoo her off because they just think she's a fiend, basically. Like, and you see, this film isn't that egregious in the way the police operate, but it is kind of like the police kind of treat this case like, well, we talked to the people involved and we didn't get no answers. So I don't know what else y'all want us to do. Like, I just ain't getting y'all kids back. I don't know. Like, that's really kind of how this film operates. Even Josh Brolin's character, who I kind of feel for, like, he's at the police precinct. Like I said, he's doing his own investigation. Josh Brolin's character, he's trying to figure out what happened to his son. So anytime he gets a lead, he goes to the police like, so, hey, what about this, or what's going on here? Or we haven't heard an update in a while. And the police chief is like, I respect that. And I understand, because God forbid, if it was my child, I would want answers too. But, just trust that we're, investigating this to the best of our ability. And it's like, no, y'all aren't, because the people that ended up actually cracking the mystery are not police officers. Like, actually, the first person who actually finds out what's going on is like the least likely person you would have expected to crack this mystery.
It's a nigga that's stealing TV, or I'm sorry, riding down the street with a TV on his bicycle.
Like, it's literally like it's one of them. Like, it's like the neighborhood fuck up. It's the neighborhood fuck up. It's the dude who's lowest on the social totem pole.
I think you pass the fuck up at that point. You
like bro, at this point, it's like
it's a Pookie, an Ezell, if you will.
Yes, yes. It's an Ezell. Ezell is the one that finds out what's going on first.
What's Jesse's name from Breaking Bad? Jesse what?
Pinkman.
It's a Jesse Pinkman.
Yes, right? it's that kind of character. It's the Ezell. It's a Jesse Pinkman. It's a Pookie. It's a Ray Ray. It's that character is the one that cracks the mystery first. So that's when I knew. I'm like, oh, the police in this movie are trash.
As I read it though, the way this nigga cracked it is exactly how you would think he would crack a mystery.
Yes, because he's there to rob. He's there stealing things, and he's looking around like, hold on, this shit don't look right. This shit, something is wrong in here. There's something very wrong in here. He starts looking around the house. He's like, oh, I need to get the fuck out of here. And then goes and tries to tell the police what's going on. And then things happen after that. I'll just say that. I ain't gonna say the police made a whole lot of progress, but he goes to one officer in particular to try to get him to help. And it doesn't go the way you think it's gonna go. It just doesn't.
It goes exactly the way you think it's
going to go. You're right. It goes exactly how you think it's gonna go. let me be honest. It goes exactly how you think it's gonna go. But that's one thing that's very consistent trope in this movie that is kind of played out to me at this point in horror movies, of the police just being utterly terrible at their jobs. Like, there's a lot of signs that if there's just things that I think that you would want to follow up on within this investigation. Because at a certain point, they talk about the police investigation, but you don't really see the full length of how the police investigated this until the end. Because like I said, this movie is told from different perspectives. So you don't really get the perspective of the people who were being investigated like that until the end of the movie. And once you kind of see the police's full investigation and everything they did, it's like, I ain't gonna lie, y'all. There were some red flags here that y'all kind of blatantly
were y'all a part of it?
So like, damn near, like y'all wanted to help. Were y'all helping?
Question. From the time they went missing to the time they were found, what's the time frame?
It's a minute. I ain't gonna lie. It's at least close to, if not maybe over a month.
So my point is, that's not long at all for 17 missing children at
Yeah.
once. Like
Yeah.
that's the type of thing. Hey, you gotta call the FBI in for this. Nigga, 17 kids,
They did call the feds. Yeah,
and the
the
fans
feds
was
did get
like,
involved.
"Yeah, we good."
Yeah, like it was just it's just the way the investigation went, right? Like there were red flags.
Yeah,
Like there were things that like, hold on, what? That they just kind of brushed off. Like I, I can't, like I said, I can't really say without spoiling it. I really want to. We really should do a spoiler review on this because I really want to just talk about this movie, but I can't. Like, there's scenes in here where the police are investigating certain members of a family, and you like clearly see like something's wrong with one of them. Like they're like not okay. And one of the people just explains it off like, yeah, so this person just had a stroke and they just don't speak anymore. And it's like, my nigga, no. Like something else is wrong here. I don't see how you like the person's just sitting there like this, just mute. They look dead, like their skin is just pale as hell. Like they just look like they've been through a lot more than just, oh yeah, they just had a little health incident. They had a stroke. They're mute now and they don't speak. Like this person is just, it's like the person's not alive, but their body's there. You know what I'm saying? Like, and for the police to just kind of just brush off a lot of these red flags. That's just one. They brush off a lot of what I would consider to be orange to yellow to orange to red flags of varying degrees, and for whatever reason, just aren't able to crack the code of what's going on in this town. But a junkie can. Like that's kind of where I'm like they're just completely useless in this movie. But I will say 2025 has been a phenomenal year for horror movies. We've got Sinners, we've got this, we got Bring Her Back, you got Together, which I haven't seen, but I'm hearing very good things about. It has a really high Rotten Tomatoes rating right now. And keep in mind, we still have another Conjuring movie and him coming out in the fall. Well, this
Him is the Jordan Peele movie, right?
Yes. So this 2025 has been a really solid horror year, just off of Sinners, Bring Her Back, and this alone. Like those are three like strikes. Like those are three like knocked out the park. And then Together, I'm hearing a lot of really, really good things. I just haven't seen it yet, but I do plan to check it out soon at some point. With two more high-profile horror movies still left to go before the year is over. I think, fingers crossed, this might be the year the Academy Awards might just have to grit their teeth and finally acknowledge that horror movies exist. I know, probably wishful thinking.
You know what? I want to say no, but and again, I liked Sinners. I loved it really, but I feel like that's going to be one that may take it's going to get something. It will win something.
Yeah, it will. It's going to get a nomination. If nothing else, it's going to get a nomination for a lot of things. For sure,
I think they'll win. Honestly, I think they may actually win.
I think so too. Honestly, I think this should probably get some kind of nomination just because it's a horror movie, but it's a horror movie that focuses a lot on character and just emotional trauma and just it's a lot of psychological thriller elements to this as well. Like it's not just a horror movie. It really, like I said, the first half of this movie or the first act and most of the second act is really like a mystery suspense thriller that starts to graduate into a horror movie once you start to learn more about what's actually going on. And one thing I do want to touch on before I give my review, the ending of this movie is nuts. Like it's something that really shocked me that they actually just kind of just said, fuck it, we gonna do this. I was very shocked at the ending of this movie. And there's not a lot of things that can shock me on screen. Kind of, I say Bring Her Back is another horror movie that just had a lot of shocking things on screen. This doesn't have as many shocking moments as Bring Her Back, because Bring Her Back was just trying to say, how many times can we show a scene that'll make an audience member turn their head and say, I don't want to have that image in my head. That's kind of what Bring Her Back did.
So this was kind of like
yeah.
I feel like that's cheap. Like
it is, but it made sense for the story. But it was kind of cheap. But they weren't just doing it to do it. Like it narratively made sense, but it was just a lot because it's like happening to a child. You know what I'm saying? If you know what because Bring Her Back is about a foster mother, a very fucked up foster mother who adopts two kids, and you find out the reason she adopted them is very, very messed up.
Oh, is it to
So
bring like her? She had a daughter, right?
yes,
And
and
she
she was
wants
trying to bring her daughter back to
to
life.
sacrificing them or some shit, right?
Yes,
Okay, okay,
yes.
okay. I
So
might
it's
have
like
seen some stuff about it.
a lot of the graphic violence in Bring Her Back is happening to children. So it's like it makes it that much more disturbing. And you know how most movies, if something's happening that graphic, they'll cut away. They're like, nah, you gonna watch this shit. As a matter of fact, do a close up, slow pan shot. Yeah, like it's like that. You know what I'm saying? So, but this movie isn't that egregious with it. This movie doesn't even really have many scenes like that at all until the end. And it's not necessarily violence against kids, it's what they have the kids do. They have the kids do something just very shocking, and I
In
was
this
not
movie?
expect. Yes, I was
Oh,
not
okay, okay.
expecting that.
I seen it.
Yeah, I was not expecting them to go that far.
Even reading it that quick, I'm like,
Yeah,
that's
like
an
it's like
interesting choice.
yes, yes. Like when it was going down, I'm like, they not about to have them. Oh shit! Oh shit! And it's very graphic.
That's what's
It
up
is
though.
very graphic, and it's
Time to
deserved.
time to put in some work, little nigga.
Hey, like when they did it, I actually rocked with it. I was like, you know what? This was ball. This was very brave. I don't know if a whole lot of movies would have had the determination and the foresight and just sheer bravery to put that on screen. Because I think there's gonna be a lot of people that look at that and go like, did y'all really need to have them kids do that? On the other hand, I appreciate when movies kind of push the edge and push some boundaries a little bit. So I was with it. And like I said, it was shocking. Like I didn't see that coming. And I like the fact that this movie ends with the narration, just like to wrap up how the town deals with everything they just went through. And I do like the fact that by the end of this movie, they don't just go, all right, well, that shit happened. Let's just all move on. And, like people do try to act like it didn't happen, but the people who went through the shit, the people who interacted with the entity and went through the shit, their lives are forever changed. They don't go back to being normal. And the movie makes a point to narrate that and let you know, like, hey, these kids, these other people that were impacted by this, their lives don't just go back to normal after this. Like, they're still fucked up in different capacities, which I really liked that they didn't just kind of you know, just act like the impact of that is just glossed over and didn't happen. Because in real life, when small towns like that experience tragedy, it doesn't just go away. That the effect lingers, and I'm glad the film focused on that aspect, kind of playing on the symbolism I was talking about earlier of just small towns being ravished by things like school shootings and all of that.
Ravish is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it's the word that came to mind. Ravished is nuts. I ain't gonna lie. But I'm gonna give Weapons. I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. Y'all know this has been one of my most anticipated movies of the year. Between Sinners, Fantastic Four, and now this, the three movies that I've been looking forward to the most this year have come and gone, and all three of them have hit. So I'm very happy with 2025 and the movies we're getting. 2025 has been a really good year for film. And I'm just from superhero genre to the horror genre. We've gotten some good dramas with F1. Like this has been a phenomenal year so far, and Weapons continues to build on that. This has great suspense. Like you said what?
I definitely did not think I was gonna like F1.
I didn't think I was going to like F1 either.
Was surprised. I don't even think I don't think we had initially had it on our schedule. I think it was just one of them things where we're like Brad Pitt, that
let's give it a shot.
Us.
Yeah. And that ended up being one of my favorite movies of the year. So, that's still in my top 3 movies of the year so far. And that third spot, it's a little rough. This and Fantastic Four are having a death battle right now for that third spot. I'm gonna give.
You like Fantastic Four better, more than Superman?
Yeah, a little bit, but not by much. If someone said they thought Superman is better than Fantastic Four, I think that's very valid. And like, there's a lot of points you could make to support that argument. Like, it's not a far. I personally give Fantastic Four a slight edge, but it's like right here.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not a wide gap between those two in my eyes. You could throw Superman in there for that third spot. Honestly, like it's Sinners and F1 are solidified in 1 and 2. And then the third spot is some combination of Fantastic Four, Superman, and now Weapons. Because I really thoroughly enjoyed this. I thought
We
this
just give you a
is
top 5.
yeah, we can just throw the top 5. That's my top 5, but like, top 3 is like, more exclusive. But yeah, top 5 is definitely those 5 movies for sure. This movie does a great job of just handling different genres and blending them together well, whether it be comedy. There's a lot of comedic elements in this movie. There's scenes in this movie that probably aren't even intended to be funny that are funny, not in like a it's so bad that it's funny kind of way, just because the tension is so much and some of the things you're seeing are just so bizarre. Sometimes you kind of can't help to laugh.
Like what the fuck type funny.
Yeah, it's like what the fuck. Literally, that's literally the reaction. Um, so I would say between that and the performances you get, the ability to build tension and then maintain a strong level of mystery throughout the movie, you really don't get the full piece to the puzzle until like the back half of the third act, to where you fully get the picture of what's going on and why the things that are happening. And the movie kind of takes you through like an up and down ride of taking different characters' point of view to really understand that journey and get to that point. Yeah, solid 8 out of 10 for me. Highly recommend y'all go check this out and support this one. I'm really hoping we get a lot more original storytelling because of films like this. I did see that you know, studios that, have made original films this year and the box office returns have been well. It looks like there's going to be a priority put on more original storytelling, especially with horror movies. So I am hoping that this horror boom of original storytelling we've gotten this year kind of starts to give us a little bit more original stories going forward. But yeah, that's really all I got for Weapons, y'all. Like I said, go check this one out. This is definitely one of the highlights of the year. This is a film that lived up to expectations, and Zach Cregger has solidified himself as a top name in horror directing right now, with between this and Barbarian, I think. Did you have any final questions, Vito? Anything you want to close out with?
Think, man. I mean, I probably shouldn't have read it, but I think I don't have any questions that wouldn't give a lot of spoilers.
Yeah.
Only thing I'm gonna disagree with you with two. I need you to have at least 3 good movies, man. He
Like
needs.
it's before we start putting your name in
Yeah,
that upper echelon.
I
That's
think he
fair.
gotta have at least a third.
That's fair.
Honestly, I would say 4, but a
At
third
least
one
3.
you gotta have 3.
Yeah, that's
Gotta
fair.
have 3.
That's fair. He's only 2 in, so
Yeah,
before we put him in that convo,
yeah.
that's fair.
I
That's
mean,
fair.
and I don't have much to say about horror movies, but I'm gonna just say directing. Period. Like,
Period. Yeah, just as far as well directed films.
you
Yeah.
give me 3 good movies, I'm be like, all right, they produce 5. As long as they don't have only 3 good movies, and then they got
Yeah.
20 other movies. But like,
Yeah.
I don't know how many. I'm gonna have to look him up and see how many movies he's directed. Period.
I believe Barbarian was his first, if I'm not mistaken.
So I'll say like, yeah, he like good young talent, and I don't know how old this nigga is, but like young in directing, I'll say.
Yeah.
So to
Yeah.
come.
Okay. Well, Barbarian was his first like studio film, was what it looks like.
What was he doing before like indie shit?
Yeah, like a
Oh,
lot
and
of
he
indie.
wrote that too. So he
Yeah, a
wrote and
couple of
directed.
smaller indie films. And it looks like a TV
He
show.
was
Actually, no, he
he
had
was
a
on a.
parody movie
Did he
that came
write
out.
on that?
He
The
had
whitest kids,
hmm?
I see that he got a credit for the
Yeah,
whitest kids,
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
he
He has a credit on
directed.
there. Yes, and then he does have like some sketch comedy or parody. I'm sorry, a parody movie in like '09 that he directed.
Bro,
But
he directed almost every episode of that.
I think it was that was like his project.
Jesus.
Yeah, that was his project, like through and through. That was a Zach Krieger production through and through. But since he's transitioned into the horror realm between Barbarian and Weapons, he's been knocking it out the park. So, like, I'm with you. We'll wait to give him a third movie because we had to do Jordan Peele had to get 3 in. You know what I'm saying?
Jordan Peele,
Our Get Out, Nope, and Us, and
I have
About to
not
Be Him.
seen Us.
Us is phenomenal to
No,
me.
I'm sorry, I haven't seen Nope.
Nope is.
I heard. I've heard that everybody has said that. Like,
Yeah, it is. It just is.
Everybody was kind of like, I think everybody was so hyped up for the other two. Then like, it's kind of underwhelming.
I'm not even gonna say it's underwhelming. I don't like movies that I watch a lot. So you don't necessarily have to give me all the answers or just tell me straight up what's happening. I actually kind of like movies that leave a little bit to the imagination. Weapons does that very well, right? Even by the end of this movie, even when you have the full picture of what was happening, there's a lot of gaps in the story that the film kind of leaves to the audience's interpretation. Not that compromise your understanding of the story, but just to not give away too much, right? So I like movies that are able to do that. Nope kind of felt like it was like, let's do that and like just turn the dial all the way left. Like
Yeah,
let's
too
just
many
do
motherfucking
just that.
answers.
Yeah,
So
like
so this is the issue. I think you had, or I don't know. So obviously, most of the shit we be talking about, we don't know. It's just us guessing and assuming.
yeah,
But
yeah.
like, I don't know what his thought process was going into. Nope. But like, people were inferring things from Get Out and Us that they for no, this is what it meant. This is what it meant. This is what it
Yeah.
meant. So maybe he was just like, well, shit, let me dumb this shit all the way down for you. And I haven't seen no, but
Oh, it
let,
wasn't done down, I can
let
promise you.
not
Because
dumb down,
I
but like let me
still
let
don't
me
really know
give
what
you
that movie was.
this. That's crazy.
Yeah, I still like I have my theories of what I think he was the message he was because it's clear it's like all right, the villains in Nope are definitely like symbolism for something. And I think I have an idea of what, but the film doesn't really tell like you're really guessing about what's happening in Nope for real and what a lot of this shit means and where it's going.
I think maybe I might have to just watch the movie.
Yeah, I would. Nope is actually a movie I think you will rock with because it's a horror movie, but it ain't like nothing crazy. It's
I
more of
mean,
like
I didn't
if you
think
can watch War of the Worlds, I think you can watch Nope,
which War of the Worlds.
not the Ice Cube one.
Okay.
Not the. Anytime I mention War of the Worlds, I am talking about Tom Cruise. Like we are not referring to any other version of that. Yeah, when I talk about War of the Worlds, I'm talking about 2000s.
Because
Not
I've been watching I'm not watching I've been watching some reviews that pop up on TikTok,
Mhm.
and people that watch the movie don't understand what was happening, and I'm just trying to figure out what are aliens getting by eating our data.
It currently has a 3% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is an
And it's up
improvement.
from
It was at
0.
0 before. So
Yeah.
3, somebody liked this movie.
It was
I
it
don't
was
know who.
nigga. Hey, that nigga Jeff Bezos sent out an email like fucking this shit on Rotten
Hey,
Tomatoes.
hey, all Amazon employees, go submit a Rotten Tomatoes review on this.
I will give you I will give you a $50
Hey, no, dead ass.
not raise. I'm gonna give you a gift of
I
$50.
promise you that 3% are all Amazon executives. That 3% is all Amazon executives
They
for
trying to
sure.
recoup.
They like, hey, we got to show somebody like this.
Because why the fuck would I have to buy? I ain't gonna even get into it, man. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'll just say in closing, like I said, 8 out of 10 for Weapons. Phenomenal movie. Really caps off, I think, a really solid summer that we've got in film. With still a little bit more to go. We still got highest to lowest coming. And then even in the fall, got some heavy hitters coming. Like I said, with another Conjuring movie and him. And you got Avatar coming out later in the year. So this 2025. Yeah, 2025 is not done yet. We still got some heavy hitters still coming down the road, and I'm looking forward to it. If you guys have seen Weapons, let us know y'all thoughts. Let us know what you think. Do you think one of the better horror films of the year, or were there others that you think were better? Are you like me? Are you ready to just crown Zach Krager right now? Because I'm kind of ready to off of them 2 movies, or do you need to see a little bit more from them? Give us that discourse as the fun of being a film fan. So let us know you all's thoughts. Always continue to like, comment, subscribe. We do appreciate all the support. Until next time, this is the Real Junkies. Peace.